Okay. Well, welcome to Overtime with Coach Blue and Athletic Director Marissa. Good to have you guys here. Marissa,
yes.
We got a lot of cool stuff on the horizon this upcoming summer.
Yes,
specifically, the No One Left Behind Half Team Marathon. New logos, new shirts.
Not half of a team. It's a team half.
The new team half marathon, yeah.
You said half a team marathon.
Sure, you can do 6, you can do 3, who cares, right? Sign up for it. Jump on addicttoathlete.org underneath our events tab, and you'll see both of our races, the No One Left Behind Team Half Marathon and the Proxy Run 5K in accordance with the September Recovery Month. So both are open, I believe, right now, right?
Yes, the September 5K, we have a virtual option, so anyone can join from around the world, the country. We've had people from all over. Our Team Half Marathon, June 15th, is just an in-person in Spanish Fork, Utah, teams of 3. If you can't get a team of 3, just come as you are. We'll either put you with somebody or you can run. But the point is to try to bring people, surround yourself with positive people. Recovery, we cannot do it alone. So Bring your team.
And it's a beautiful course. Lots of shade right by the river, close to traffic. So you can't beat it. And when you get to the halfway point, the little bit of canyon breeze, it pushes you back to the starting line. It's quite nice.
Is it downhill back?
I think I think it's fairly flat the whole way.
I think most of
it's not
flat.
too hilly. So
there's not much elevation.
It's the perfect course is what it is.
Yeah.
So jump on addicttoathlete.org, register. Let's get you guys going. It's going to be a fun experience.
Please check out patreon.com/addicttoathlete fundraising platform. Find a tier that works for you. We even have a $2 a month.
$2 a month.
$2 a month.
Gives you all that backlog content and everything that drops new. So jump on there, check it out. Thanks, everybody. Marissa, one more quick plug, and then we're going to jump into today's topic because we got a big one today. If you are listening to this and you have this burning inside that chest of yours, your heart is just palpitating with the desire to serve and give back to your community, we would highly recommend you jump on, again, that one-stop shop for all Team Addict Athlete stuff, addicttoathlete.org, and check out our certified sober coach training. We are currently training several coaches. We got lots of coaches that have done this, opening up chapters all over the country, helping bring the message of erasing addiction by replacing it with things of greater value. Yeah. And turning the message into the message. It's a lot different. It's not a life coaching position. I need you guys to understand that. This is a certified addict to athlete coaching training.
Yeah, it's learning our philosophy, our training. You also get a playbook that kind of explains all about, the management and how things work and gives you lesson plans for like 52, 60, about 60 weeks worth of lesson plans. And we just had someone finish in upstate New York. We just had someone finish in Texas. Some of them are deciding if they want to open a chapter or if they just want to utilize the training for themselves to become better and maybe be able to help those in recovery. And that's what this training's there for. Anyone can do it. It's a peer support level kind of training, and this is a way that you can give back things you've learned and help others.
Yeah, and build on that foundation that Addict Athlete started. So jump on, check it out. There's an intro video you can see if it's something that might be of interest to you in your community.
Message me if you're interested in looking at that, and I can send that over to you.
100%. All right. We got lots of stuff on the horizon, Marissa, but today we want to jump in and talk about a video that came across the screen, the iPhone from YouTube, and specifically the heartbreaking circumstances that led to a tragic situation, I would say, between a single mother and her 9-year-old son. And this was, I think, back in 2022. And it's a 9-year-old boy who discovered a bag of methamphetamine, a very large bag of methamphetamine, underneath his mother's nightstand. And the body cam police footage and audio that was recorded and documented through this, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But we wanted to share this audio excerpt, and we'll stop and talk about it and kind of commentate, throughout the experience, because there's some stuff that I really want to impress upon your minds. If you are listening to this and you have a loved one that has struggled with addiction, that has children in the home, I need you to be very aware of this. Yeah. If you are an individual who is starting to seek recovery and have children in the home, I need you to listen to this, because the situation this 9-year-old was put in is absolutely horrendous.
It's heartbreaking.
It's very heartbreaking. If you are law enforcement, which I'm sure you probably don't watch or listen, but if you are, you need to take a little bit of some keys and some clues from the way these officers interacted with this 9-year-old, because some did the interactions very well. Others not so good. And so there is a huge demand, I think, on reform and kind of looking at the way that we approach some of this stuff, specifically with people with mental health issues, with addiction issues, and law enforcement.
Yeah.
I think overall the officers did well. I think they did fairly well.
Yeah.
But
But again, so many situations they come across, they need more than just guns blazing and yelling, screaming,
power tripping,
and it's, I think, for many officers very difficult to come in on the more empathetic side, and that's what I think needs to be occurring a lot more, mostly in situations like we're going to show you today.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump into this, and there'll be times we'll jump in and kind of describe the scene for you. We'll put a link to this video in the description, but just know that this is the beginning stages of officers coming to this home in Las Vegas, Nevada, checking to see, because this 9-year-old has just called the police. And the first thing that happens, I'll
so
describe
he
this to you.
calls the cops on his mom.
The first thing that happens is this kid runs downstairs from the bathroom that he's been in for about an hour. The mom is right behind him, and when he opens the door to the officers, immediately sticks out his arm and hands over this big bag of methamphetamine.
So what it looks like is that mom knew, the way it opened, that he had it and was giving it to them, but she had come up behind him, so she didn't know that that was in his hand.
This poor kid, answers the door and just kind of almost football tosses it to this cop. So this is where it begins. And, Brooklyn, if you're over there, you can hear this, or you don't hear this audio, please come tell us.
A 9-year-old boy was filled with tears as he turned in his own mother, handing over to police a 100-gram bag of meth found in her bedroom.
You found this stuff, right? Where did you find it at?
Under the nightstand.
On accident?
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Under the nightstand.
What's that?
Under the nightstand.
Under her nightstand. So that would be in the bedroom that she sleeps in?
Yeah.
The incident happened in July of 2022 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Body cam video captures police responding to the home, where an officer is met by the young child who hands over a large Ziploc bag.
Large Ziploc bag.
Hello. How are you? Well, thank you.
The officer says thank you when he receives the bag of meth.
Check on your son.
Okay, yeah, he's on my phone in the bathroom for like an hour.
Can I come in and talk to you?
Sure, yes. What is going on?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, you just handed it to me.
Okay, I don't know.
The child's mother was identified as Kendra Long. According to police, Long's son discovered the drugs, locked himself in a bathroom, then called his father with an iPad.
So this is your child?
This is my baby, yes. He's been in the bathroom for an hour.
Okay.
Literally an hour.
Who else home with you?
Me and him.
All right.
That's it.
Why are you sweating?
I'm sweating? I'm not sweating.
You look sweating.
No, I'm not.
Make sure you were in here by yourself.
No, I'm freaking out right now.
So there was other people here earlier. They left?
There's no other people here earlier. My friend Kristen saw by. That was it.
Okay, so this is your house?
It's my house.
So you're...
Well, I don't know why you're here.
Well, do you have an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband? Baby daddy?
Yes.
Okay.
Baby daddy, that drives me nuts.
He called. He wants to check
She doesn't
on your
respond,
son.
so he's
he says
that there was some stuff going on, that he was FaceTiming your ex. What's his name?
My ex-husband, Tony.
Tony. He was FaceTiming Tony. He was concerned about his welfare.
There's nobody here.
Well, you're here.
Yeah, no, but what was the concern? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I guess when he was on FaceTime with Tony, he was showing Tony this stuff that he found in the house.
The bag of methamphetamine.
Well, I don't either.
Well, I don't even know what is happening. I know that my kid went in the bathroom and been for an hour, and I've been like, what's wrong? We were having a popsicle, playing Fortnite, and all of
and there was nobody else home? Nobody else is here? So all this stuff in this house is yours?
This is all my, yeah.
So everything in the house is yours?
Well, this is my house.
Okay. And this is in your house?
See that right there? If this is your house and everything in this house is yours, then this very large Ziploc bag of meth
right there
is yours. Yeah. So already what you see is this little boy who, 9 years old, hands over this contraband, this substance to the cops.
And you can hear just the emotion in his voice.
Yeah.
Poor kid is just...
And at first, did you hear him? He said, and that was kind of a clip forward, but you're going to hear a little bit more of his little voice. He says almost immediately, I found it on accident. Mm-hmm. That is heartbreaking, first and foremost. That this kid is like, I found this on accident. And obviously, at 9 years old, he has to be aware of what it is, which tells you what?
He's seen it before.
He's seen it before. That is a rough spot to be in anyway.
Yeah.
Calls his dad on the iPad.
Because he's not even asking his mom or trying to clarify what is this. It's like he knew what it was. He took it. He went into the bathroom, called his dad. And then the dad called the cops, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and told his son, okay, hold on, they're coming. But here's the sad thing too is, and I get mom's reasons for trying to play the card of, I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before, right? Because there's this very scary situation of you're going to jail. Like, this is a lot of methamphetamine, you guys. This isn't just a little personal use. This is a lot. So she's right now trying to distance herself from what it could be. The officer saying, well, this is your house and everything in this house is yours, which means this is yours.
It's yours.
Well, Kristen was here earlier.
Who's Kristen?
My girlfriend. She
Trying to
came
blame
by.
Kristen, whoever that is.
She's house sitting up the street for our regional manager.
Right.
We're in property management. She has a baby kitten, watching the kitten.
She's the baby
So
kitten.
how is your relationship with Tony?
That's never been
Ex-husband.
good.
Yeah. Were you guys ever married? How long were you guys married for?
7.5 years.
When confronted about the drugs found in the Ziploc, Long responded she doesn't do drugs.
We don't have to do drugs to have drugs in the house. Take a look at that.
I don't even know what that is, you guys. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what is happening right now, you guys. I don't know.
100%. Like I said, why we're here, Tony was, what's his name again? Was FaceTiming Tony. He was concerned. He was scared. He said, I found this in the house. I think it's drugs. So Tony calls us to come and check on
thought it was
Austin,
drugs?
your kid.
Okay, well, I don't even know what this is or where he found it.
I don't either.
I don't either, okay?
I get it. And like I said, that's why we're here.
The officer then takes down her information. Meanwhile, another officer on scene goes to speak with Long's son as his body
This is
cam
heartbreaking.
captures the
This is
child
sad.
bursting into tears as he tells the officer he found the drugs.
And what did you find inside the house that made you scared? Okay. Do you know what drugs look like?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So where were the drugs at?
Underneath the nightstand.
Underneath the nightstand? Okay. Gotcha. Do you ever seen anything like that here before?
No.
No? Okay. So where are those at right now? Nobody inside's in trouble for anything. I just need to try to figure out what's going on.
I just gave him to the first person I saw.
Okay, and who was that?
It's an officer to the right.
Okay, so you gave them, the officer, some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Listen to his breathing.
What,
poor guy.
Poor kid.
And have you ever seen anything like that in the house before? No? Okay, but you know what drugs do look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Long's son then tells the officer he believes the drugs were found inside the house on purpose by one of his mom's friends.
Okay, so is there like a lot of people that come and go in and out of the house?
Only people that I know that come to the house are some of her friends, and that's really it.
Okay. Do you think somebody might have dropped something off, or it was somebody else's that they accidentally left here?
I think they dropped something off on an accident.
You think they dropped some off an accident?
No, not on accident, on purpose.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. So he says, I think that someone dropped this off on accident, but what he meant to say was
No, he clarifies.
on purpose.
No, on purpose.
That's a 9-year-old boy. The thing that we don't really understand, people, is that when you have young children in your home and there's substance use happening, you are stealing their childhood. Like that is, I remember thinking about this concept about right now, this is their childhood. All the experiences that you got to have or didn't get to have or what have you, are you going to replicate that in your children's lives? You're going to take away the innocence. You're going to take away the experience, the opportunities.
What are you creating? Are you creating a safe space for your kids to have a childhood? Are you creating experiences for them to have that? We often talk about adults and parents who drink responsibly, but still, what are you missing out on when you're buzzed? What are you missing out on when you're smashed? That the kids, this is theirs. This is their childhood, and what do you need to be maybe more aware of or present for that you could be missing out on what is going on,
And what I want to maybe even piggyback off of with that mindset, Marissa, is that there were times when I've worked with folks in the past that said, I'm always there for my kids, right? Until and they say they can call me at any time and I go get them. Yeah, but what if you're inebriated? What if you're intoxicated and they need you to come pick them up? And so you do the fatherly thing by jumping behind the wheel and then get pulled over DUI.
Yeah, what situations are you putting yourself in or them in because maybe you're not available or you're not safely available?
You have to understand, and so many people will hate this, but you have to understand that if you're choosing to use recreational substances, you're also choosing to let go of some kind of responsibility in your family. It has to be that way. If you want to be a professional athlete, you have to be willing to give up something in your family. Does that make sense?
The sacrifice it takes to be at a professional level as an athlete, you give up a lot of time with your family. You probably give up even being in the same state, even being in the same home. There's lots of things. And if you know what those things are and you're willing to sacrifice that, that's one thing. But you've got to be aware of what you're sacrificing.
Of what the consequences could and may be. And so the same thing holds true with substance use, right?
Yeah.
What she's not understanding, this mom, is that she's taking away from this young man's childhood. At 9 years old, should you be worried about crawling around your house and finding a big sack of methamphetamine?
And the responsibility that it's putting on him. The other thing I think about is how lucky this kid is to have a father who's safe for him to call. How many kids are in situations like this where maybe it's both mom and dad, or they don't have a relationship with the divorced parent or a relationship with someone at school, a counselor, that they don't feel safe. They know some of this kind of stuff and they don't feel safe sharing it. But this kid had a place where he felt safe to be able to call his dad.
Which is going to be hard because mom and dad obviously have had some irreconcilable differences, right? There's been a divorce, which means that there's going to be a me versus you kind of mindset.
There's custody and money and, you know.
And we don't know the backstory on why they got divorced and whatnot. And we don't know if dad's an outstanding guy or not. We don't know these things, but you're absolutely spot on. This kid was able to call his dad and be like,
safe enough
what is
to say.
this? So let's continue.
All right. So how long have you guys lived in the house here?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. Who lives in the house here with you?
Just me and my mom.
So it's you and your real mom, your biological mom?
Yes.
Okay. And you and your mom are the only two people that are here right now?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Any idea who do you think left the stuff here?
Her friend, which his nickname is Poncho, but his real name is Alfonso.
His nickname is Poncho, but his name's Alfonso.
And is Alfonso kind of a mean guy, or is he pretty nice, or?
I don't see him too much, but just one of those people where you look at him and you know it, and he's always acts weird around me.
Okay.
Aww.
What do you think of that?
You look at it and you look at him and you know it.
The people that we bring into our world, this is why when we're building a sober support system and we talk about building a strong home team, that's what it's about. It's not letting Alfonso come over, or Poncho, and act weird around your kids. I mean, think about that, right? Think about that little part of that experience where you're bringing in these people that could possibly, jeopardize your home court advantage, meaning like bringing substances in.
Yeah.
And you're not realizing the magnitude of relationship that happens with their kids, right?
Yeah.
My mother did this all the time. She brought people into our home that had no business being in our home. They abused us as kids, from physical to sexual abuse. And it's like, oh, well, I had no idea. I thought that so-and-so was such a great person. Well, you don't know that. You're not building those kind of relationships. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I feel for this little kid. He's like, well, the kid's like talking to the cop. Well, you know the type. And the cop's like, yeah, I guess I do know the type. Right?
Yeah.
Man.
It's the only person I can think of.
Has he ever threatened you or hurt you or anything like that?
No.
He just acts kind of weird. And is he just a friend to your mom, or are they?
He's a friend.
Okay.
That's all I know.
She just kind of shows up every once in a while.
Yeah, I've only seen him about once or twice.
And you think he dropped the stuff off?
Yes.
The officer who was speaking to Kendra Long comes outside. When he asked the then 9-year-old a question, the child breaks into tears again, admitting he found the drugs on accident.
So you got scared tonight. You called your dad. And you found this stuff, right? Where did you find it at?
Under an accident.
On accident?
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Under an accident.
What's that?
under her nightstand.
Under her nightstand. So that would be in the bedroom that she sleeps in?
Yeah.
And how did you recognize that? Like, what did you think when you saw it?
I just saw a couple baggies. I was curious. Pull it out, and then that's when I knew what it was.
Yeah, from like TV and stuff?
What?
Like you thought like maybe it was drugs from like TV and stuff?
Yeah.
Right. And you got scared and you called your dad?
Yeah.
And what did he say? Call the police? Yeah. Well, you did the right thing. I know you don't want to get anybody in trouble, and we're here to make sure everybody's safe, and that you're safe and your mom's safe, and yeah, I guess your dad, he's going to come here and check on you, okay?
You can kind of tell that the cops don't really know what to do. They've never been in a situation like this where it's like,
I'm sure this doesn't happen.
It's a heartbreaking
often.
situation. But I want you guys to pay particular attention as we get a little bit deeper into this at how this 9-year-old boy recognized the fact that this baggie of, and there's a lot of meth here, you guys. This isn't a little bit. And they're going to tell you a little bit about how much. One of the officers says, this is as much as I've seen, maybe top 5 in my career.
Yeah.
And so this 9-year-old boy is saying, I recognize this. The mom, on the other hand, is like, I've never seen this before.
What is? And then I think at one point,
the cop makes a reference to Breaking Bad. She's like, what?
Well, she says it's meth, and she's like, what is methamphetamine?
Yeah. It's like, if you're 9-year-old, is he the kingpin? I don't think so.
The only thing I wish the cops would have done is earlier said, you're doing what you did is right.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling us. We're going to make sure everyone's okay and everyone's safe. Thank you. And continuing to reassure him. You hear this kid going through like a literal panic attack.
You can hear it in his voice.
And they do say it, but to me, it was so prolonged to them trying to get the information that I think if they would have presented with a little more care, maybe he would have been calmer to be able to even share more information. And then not saying, oh, did you learn what this was on TV? Don't say that.
No.
Say, how do you know this is drugs?
Yeah.
How do you know that that's not powdered sugar?
Yeah.
Whatever. You know?
Or, it's amazing that you were able to, call your dad. All those kind of things, the positive reinforcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that? Okay.
As one of the officers delves more into the child's home life, the 9-year-old told the officer he had trouble with his mom in the past.
Your dad said he's going to put you up for adoption? Your mom? Have you told your dad that?
Yes.
And what did your dad say when you told him?
He was kind of getting mad of how she's doing stuff like this.
Okay. Have you told your dad about the other stuff that she's done, the physical abuse back in the day?
Yeah.
And what was his reaction? What did he say?
Mad, and then combination of concerned and also sad feeling.
Okay. Have you ever talked to police officers about that stuff that's happened?
Not really everything.
Okay.
Now you can tell that this little boy is being very honest, right? And the reason why you can tell there's some key points in this, it's things like when he gives them like a little bit of an out or kind of like a sidestep, the kid doesn't take it. Does that make sense? Like when he says, like, have you talked to cops about this? He's like, not really, which means that he's probably talked to officers before in the past, but never
And that's what he's saying.
disclosed.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Because oftentimes if somebody is approached at, talking to a child about something like this, whether it's a cop or whatever, they're usually not going to give everything first time all at once. It's going to take time. They need to feel safe. They maybe need to know that you're going to respond appropriately, and maybe even building some kind of relationship or rapport for them to feel safe enough. But in this situation, I think with that many officers there, he's like, I've got to say something. That's why he's just like, I haven't said everything, told them everything.
Well, and it is unfortunately the case that most every adult, including law enforcement, takes what children say with a grain of salt, right? They're like, come on. The initial impulse is to not believe your children. And listeners, I've got to double down and tell you how important it is that you know the rhythm of your child's heartbeat, that you understand and have that relationship with them. We have our little producer, Brooklyn, running around here. She's our oldest kid. She's an adult now.
You're all little.
Yeah, little Brooklyn. And there was a situation she had, I think we've discussed this on the past too, where, she had a very ignorant conversation with a stupid coach while she was just a little squirt swimming. And, we recognized the minute she came home from swimming that something was off, just by the way that she didn't make eye contact with us, that she didn't pop in, that she went directly to her room. And then when her sister Savannah popped in behind her, we could tell like something was really up, because even Savannah was like a deer in headlights, and we're like, what's going on?
Something was weird.
And Savannah says, you probably need to go down and talk to Brooklyn. And so we went down, and at first Brooklyn was like, I'm fine, like most kids do. But then she like told us about some stupid comments her swim coach said to us. And you want to talk about brimstone, hell, and fire? Like Marissa and I were ready to go headhunting, and we did. We went and confronted this loser of a coach, and made her apologize for the things that she said. But it was so hellacious. The comment that this freaking swimming coach said to our daughter, it was so hellacious that it almost didn't seem believable. It's like, what adult would say something like this to our daughter, right?
Yeah. Like and they wouldn't really. Like maybe you just, and that's easy to go, maybe she just interpreted it that way. Maybe that was her perception, because really? And mostly a well-trained swim coach. She wasn't just like, a coach of kids. Like she'd been coaching for years. She had coached collegiately. She had, like it was outrageous.
And so it would have been super easy for us to avoid confrontation and be like, oh, well, what a dumb coach. But we could tell immediately something was off. And so we believed her 100%. And I've sat in my office, I get emotional. I've sat in my office and had clients come in and tell me about times that they've been physically or sexually abused, and their parents downplay it. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. There's no way. Not from Uncle Joe or whoever, right? No way. What do you think happens to that kid when they're not heard, they're not listened to?
They're finally brave enough to say something, like this poor kid, brave enough to say something, and then told that what they're saying is they made it up, or they didn't see it correctly, or you know what I mean? Yes, I always believe that you should clarify. Like even these officers are asking more questions. They're trying to clarify, get the details. How does he know this? That's absolutely fine. But at the end of the conversation, they trust him.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the conversation with Brooklyn, we trusted her.
So the officers are saying, now they're diving into a little bit deeper. Oh, so there's some abuse that's happening here, and there's some back and forth. And of course, mom's going to see it different than dad, and dad's going to see it different than her. But it's easy to blame it on the kid and say, well, they're just, they're power tripping. My spouse is always trying to get me in trouble. Well, you're starting to have, some repetition, and there's a common denominator in all these issues, and it's you.
You have had police officers out to your house before, though?
Yes.
One of the officer calls the report in to his supervisor, noting on the phone just how large the bag of meth was.
The kid, he's been talking to my partner. I've been kind of overhearing it while I've been doing my investigation, and I've been kind of hearing about some possible physical abuse in the past by mom from, and then he's basically because he wants to be with dad more. But you know how those situations can sometimes be coached, Yeah, PCS, possession of controlled substance. It's not a package for individual sale or anything, but it's a large amount, like enough that we're thinking about maybe calling our narcs to come out and look at it. I mean, it's not just like a little baggie, Yeah, it's like one of my top 5, in my 20-year career of meth hauls.
Back inside the house, Kendra Long insinuates her son may have been coached to say negative things about her from her.
See, this is what pisses me off, because right now, the mom knows. She knows that's. Oh yeah. She's aware of it. There's no way you don't know that's there. But now she's like, oh, I'll bet you he was coached. I get you trying to save your own fanny. I get that.
And she goes through some of that. Like he just doesn't want to pay child support, and you hear that a lot. And I know there's situations where that's true, but there's also situations where the mom's not good.
The gig is up.
The dad is the safer guardian, and that's how it should be.
This is almost as bad, if not worse, than you using, because now you're calling your child a liar. And that, to me, you don't come back from. That's not an easily forgivable attribute.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Something like that takes a really long time to rebuild.
100%. Like once you do that, once this kid's holding a bag of methamphetamine in his hand, and the mother's like, You made that up. That's not mine.
You're just trying to get.
Are
with
you
Dad
out of
more.
your freaking mind? You're caught. You're done. Take some accountability. Let's get you some help.
Ex-husband.
I don't even know what your son has said. I've been in here with you and Officer Engel and Officer Hanson the whole time. So it's not like I'm sitting here listening, trying to figure that out. I know you kind of try and keep listening, which is understandable. But it's interesting
because he was coached.
Because he was coached.
It was all in the trial and everything.
That was going to be my next line of questioning. Do you think he's ever been coached?
It was robotically. It was literally word for word.
Because he just started volunteering all kinds of information that I wasn't asking him about.
That's why it's true.
And I asked him, I go, has your dad ever told you to say things about your mom that weren't true? And he straight said no. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Very direct, almost like he was anticipating that was going to be my next question.
I don't know what this is all.
Let me tell you why I don't think that kid was coached. The kid doesn't run downstairs to answer the door first to shove a bag of methamphetamine into this cop's hands as if it's a hot potato because he wants to get it out of his hands.
And could you imagine if the dad had set the mom up that way and put a bag of meth or not meth and said, hey, you can come live with me if you run down. Oh my goodness.
The things that could go wrong in that plan.
Yes, exactly.
And you'll see as it goes on.
Like next, I'm bringing this whole court thing up because of when that was going on. There were things that like were
custody through the divorce.
He's coming home in his backpack and stuff like that. Whatever this thing is, I'm completely. I don't even know what this is or what it's about, but I'm having a heart attack now thinking about this court thing. If that's what it's stirring up again, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you think your ex-husband would attempt to set you up to win full custody of Austin?
Of course. Give me an out and I'll take it. Of course he would.
I didn't think we had anything going on, but he has been short on the last 2 months payment. I don't know what his situation is, but that's something to mention, I guess. I didn't think we were at this point again, but I don't know. If that's what's happening, then that's what's happening. I mean, do I need to get like my lawyer or whatever? I mean, what do I need to do with that?
I mean, you already have a lawyer for your previous divorce proceedings and custody issues, everything else. Is that correct?
No, it's been all dropped and done.
Her body language is screaming guilty too. Look at that.
Has anything happened in his dad's life
nervous.
that would change and make him want to have
financially
Austin back? So you think maybe financially, so he doesn't have to make payments to you for child support. He would try to get Austin back.
Brand new babies over there with a new wife, and I just know that he's court ordered to pay my child support. That's all I know. I don't talk to him. I don't know him on a personal level. I know that he just has 2 new babies.
Gotcha.
So at the same time as she's trying to blame some of the stuff on him to maybe take away some of that attention, she's also saying that she doesn't know his situation. She doesn't understand kind of where he's at. That, he's behind in child support, allegedly. We don't know that. But that he's got a new life going on. So why in the world would he still be stirring the pot? We don't know. I mean, everyone has their issues. But like, can you see her at the same time trying to like blame shift this on him?
Well, and I appreciate that officers like asking both sides because, they don't know the situation. It's really difficult to come into environments like that and just trust one side and not the other. And they do a great job on that.
The other thing, too, is she's being very vague, which is interesting because, I mean, there's a lot going on and she is very nervous. I think that when we start looking at some of the aspects of do we believe the kid or whatnot, you're right. Getting both sides is super important. And they're not going to be able to make these decisions right away.
That night, they may not know the truth.
Now dad shows up.
Child's father arrives to the home.
Eventually we got here. When they opened the door, they were standing like he was in front, she was in back, and he literally just hands me. I'm just amazed she didn't try to take it from him or do anything. I mean, I was startled that she just allowed it. I mean, not that I think it's great because this is great evidence. Open bag like that? Yeah, like they were standing right next to each other and he just hands it to me.
Arm straight.
God forbid if it was fentanyl or something crazy. Right.
After speaking with Long's husband, the officer heads back inside the home where Long seems to be confused as to why the police were called.
So, kind of explain to me the situation with what's going on.
explain the situation of like, what happened tonight.
Yeah.
I don't really know. We're in the middle of a normal night, and then he asks for my phone, goes into the restroom, asks to play a video, and locks the door behind him, and is in there for a long time. Next thing I know, I hear Tony's voice on the phone, and I'm like, "Are you coming out?" And I'm jiggling the doorknob. This goes on for quite a while.
Yeah.
And
so you didn't know what he had or what he was
He was
doing?
in the bathroom for an
I don't know
hour.
anything about anything until you knocked on the door.
Right. But you guys came down to the door together because you guys were right next to each other
No.
when the door
He
opened.
was, I heard the knock at the door, and then I heard.
And it's like
bathroom door
midnight
open.
right
He was
now.
sitting here on the stairs, like, "Are you coming out?" Are you
And that
coming
poor
Right.
little boy is
I'm like,
sitting out there on the
"Sleep
porch
the
of his
floor," and,
house
like,
talking to the
playing a
cops
game
with his
him,
little
and I'm like,
backpack. Like he wants to
So
leave.
then
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
he comes running out. I heard you guys at the door, and we were right there together.
So you didn't see that he had that in his hand?
No, I don't even know what this is. I don't know anything about it. What is happening?
So what we're going to do, obviously, we're going to test it and make sure to discover what it is.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it looks probably like methamphetamine. You know,
What is that?
you know what meth is.
Like speed or whatever? Like.
Oh, what's
I mean,
that?
that's
Come
on.
what happened.
Everybody knows what meth is. You watch Breaking Bad. I mean, Jesus.
I have never seen Breaking Bad.
Well, you should.
Cops like, "Oh, you should. It's a great movie." You know, that's funny. Like he's like, "I'm a fan." Jesse, right? Yeah.
Mr. White. Come on.
Mr. White and Jesse. Yeah, that's funny. But do you see the difference between the 9-year-old being like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was bad, and I knew that it might have had these markers that make it a substance, where she's like, "What? Methamphetamine? I've never heard of that." It's like Brian Regan when he's talking about that one guy in your office that when you announce that there's cake, he rolls in and he's like,
Every time.
"Cake? I've never heard of cake before."
Is there cake here today?
Yeah.
Somebody told me I could get some cake.
Yeah, what is this substance? Yeah. Don't be dumb. That right there again is an indicator that you're lying. Like, and I get that you're scared, you know, you're in trouble, but like you're insulting now the intelligence of your 9-year-old son.
Yeah.
But let's just be really honest. Okay, so it's not good that this stuff was in the house with wherever it
They
was.
say Austin.
Whatever it is.
They believe on his name, but then they say
it's
it.
illegal narcotics. It's terrible that a 9-year-old can find that and have access to it and know that what it is to call the police and have us come out here and check on you and him. Now, to be honest, yeah, you're in some trouble. You know, you're in some trouble.
I'm in trouble?
Yeah, you're in some trouble. And honesty.
I'm in trouble?
Well, yeah, I mean, from our point of view, the door opens and hands me what could be a couple ounces of methamphetamine
First of all, I don't.
that came from your house.
I'm freaking out right now.
100%. So everything we do and everything that we say is always recorded. We have body cams on right now. It's recording you crying and
I'm not crying.
I know, but startled, upset. And I don't
Lady?
believe that you don't know what it is. He claims he found it under your nightstand. I guess you were having him look for a wallet or something earlier, and he happened to stumble upon it while he was looking for something for you. Now,
I have never in my life, I don't even know.
Okay.
2 ounces of
I talked to
methamphetamine,
CPS
Marissa,
before I
is
talked to
a
you.
lot.
I guess
It is a lot. It is not
they talked
just
to you back in December.
a bit.
Yeah.
And there's been
It's a
3
ton.
cases.
Yes, there's been
Okay,
a lot. Yeah.
we're talking like normal people. And the case back
Intent
then
to
that they
distribute
investigated, that was
amount.
unsubstantiated, was possible use of illegal narcotics that they were investigating.
This is all pertaining to my trial and my ex-husband.
I understand that, and I understand, but those are just the allegations that was weighed against you back in December was
all through my
possible.
evidentiary.
And now this is July.
Right, narcotics, this, and this. So my thing with you is, honesty is not going to get you out of some of the trouble that you're in tonight. However, if you wanted to start being realistic with us and be like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what it is, I want to get some help, and I want you guys to help me. Maybe,
Which is so different than
maybe
what it used
there's
to be.
some avenues we can
Because
work
they're
with
saying
you
we can go down the treatment
to
route.
assist you a little bit on mitigating the
That's
circumstances
changed over
that you're
time,
into
which is
tonight.
What
so
about, what do
helpful.
you mean by help? Like, I don't understand
Well,
what we're talking about here.
If what we have in your house is That's a pretty large amount of methamphetamine.
I don't know what you're like. Honestly, I've been
So-
sitting here talking to the other one this whole time.
Right.
And I don't have any idea what this is.
Okay.
I don't have.
But
any
this is your
idea.
house.
This is my house.
Right. That's your cup right there, right?
This is my everything.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So
But that's not
the
my
legal
meth.
standard
She's under
usually
my
is
nightstand.
Continuing to get
this
her.
is your house. Everything in the house that you have possession over. And if we get something that you can technically be responsible
This is
for.
not. If this is drugs or whatever, this is not mine, and I
If this is
don't know
drugs or
what else
whatever.
to tell you.
So would you
But
be
everything
willing to
else
take
is
a urine test?
I'm not willing to do anything. I had a trial.
Well, I'm just asking you.
No.
So you wouldn't be willing to do a urine test tonight?
No.
So that's interesting. You don't do drugs. Those aren't your drugs. And you could clear all of this up and make it look a lot better if you take a UA. And she's like, no.
No.
Why would you think she wouldn't do that? I'm curious. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Because you're going to have something in there. Now, I get it too, right? In fact, if it were me, to be quite honest, I'd stop talking to the cops right there because you're just digging a hole, right? You need your
Ask for
attorney.
attorney.
Yeah, you need all that kind of stuff. I do like the fact that they're kind of moving towards that treatment, but that's not really up to the cop. It's kind of up to the judge and stuff. So I get where that's coming from. But her playing the dumb card, again, making her 9-year-old look like a flippin' genius, and I love that. Just digging a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
For any like methamphetamines, cocaine?
I'm not willing to do anything right now because my ex-husband put so many.
But if you're clean, it's going to help your case.
Keeps
so.
blaming the
I don't
ex-husband that
have
she
a
doesn't know
key.
much about.
Well, for us. Because you're saying that you don't know what this is.
But what is it, a case? So,
Like, let's say, because your child just gave us what appears to be a large amount of
I don't know what
methamphetamine.
this is, though.
And then let's say you assisted us and you took a drug test and you were completely clean.
Long maintained she had no idea drugs were in her home and still refused to take a urine test. The officers were seen testing the contents in the Ziploc bag, which they confirmed to be meth and a lot of it.
Yeah, that's a lot of meth. Wow.
He whispers.
Yes, it won't get some. It's just.
I think they're all shocked.
The
is
crazy
why.
part about that too, Marissa, is, and I think they mentioned this ever so lightly, but you don't, I mean, this day and age, you don't know what's cut with that. I mean, that bag could have been breached. That kid could have smelled it. That would have been fentanyl. I mean, you don't know. So, I mean, even just the stupidity in having something like that in your home is beyond me.
That's more meth than I would use on a week's worth of laundry detergent. I got 4 boys living in my house.
I mean, he washes
Given the
his clothes with
confirmation
meth.
of
It just
meth,
means that's a
police
lot of
then
meth.
read Kendra
A lot of
Long for
powder
Miranda
stuff.
rights, seemingly catching her off guard.
So just
She's
because
like,
we've been here
"I'm
for
being
a while
arrested?"
now and we've restricted your movement, that you do have the right to remain silent.
Me?
If you give up that right, you can say anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law.
Hold on.
I just want to read this to you. Since we're restricting your movement, you're not allowing you to go upstairs. You have the right to speak with an attorney for any questioning and have an attorney present
Very clear.
while you
Those
answer any
officers are
questions.
good.
It's funny that he's
Calm.
reading that and
If you
doesn't have it
cannot afford an
memorized yet.
attorney, will be appointed and
I
provided
think,
no
I think
cost.
everyone knows a Miranda rights.
You can decide
Yeah.
to answer any
Just to
questions
be
now
careful,
or may
maybe.
stop at any
So.
time and ask to speak with an attorney before any question continues. If you decide to stop answering questions once you've all begun, all questioning will be stopped. You understand all that? Basically, don't talk to us. And if you do, it will be used against you in a court of law.
He's all basically, don't talk
So,
to us. I think we're done. Turn around.
We're kind of pretty much done. I just wanted to run the thing by you again. That's news to you. That whole bag of white powdery substance is like not yours.
Not mine, not even like anyone I can think
Okay.
of that I know would be associated with
Okay.
that.
We did test
Who
it.
brought it
did
to
return
your
positive
house,
for
your room,
methamphetamine.
under your
I
nightstand?
didn't know. Somebody must have. So yeah, it is positive. Now, we're going to forward this on to our narcotics officers. You know, maybe you have a change of heart. Maybe you want to talk
I
to
also
them.
had narcs for the people that told on you.
I'm just letting you know,
Okay.
that
I know.
they're going to get a copy of the report.
Narcotics.
You may want to talk to them. That might help your situation out. You know, if you do, you can ask any officer that you run in contact with. But at this point, you are going to be placed under arrest for possession of a controlled substance.
I'm literally on.
I understand.
She's still
I-
trying to
You can
get out of
disagree
it.
all you
It's
want.
like,
That's fine.
are you not reading the room?
Okay. Well, your child found a bag of what
Oh my god.
presumptively tested positive for
This is not
methamphetamine
my stuff.
under your nightstand. That's your
He
right to
slows it
say
down.
that. But the way our laws
Poor guy's
work,
had to say it
you
like
have
9
reasonable
times.
Probable cause to believe that a crime occurred, and you're within our. We can make that arrest. So, you have shoes.
I know. I
there
don't
any-
understand this. Like, literally, who can I talk to? Your sergeant or something? This is not my stuff. This is not. I did not do a crime. This is not anything. I'm honestly going to tell you who I think is I can tell you who I think it is. It has access to my house. I
Poncho
am
or Alfonso?
not understanding what's happening right now. This is not.
And your room
Just you and your son
and-
live here. You told me
I have
that.
a boyfriend that has access to my front door.
Right.
I don't know this guy this well. However, this is
I don't know him
I
very
don't know
well.
what I'm supposed to do. This is not my. I don't.
Well,
do
you
drugs.
even said yourself you really wouldn't want to take a drug test either. to
I
see
don't
if
know
there's
what
any
I'm supposed to do
method.
right now.
Well, I can't give you advice on what to do.
But I'm not a crime. I didn't commit a crime.
But you did.
It's possession of a controlled substance. It's in your house. This is your house.
This is not my. I don't even know this was here. I can't even understand or fathom the fact that this is drugs in my
Guy's
house.
got pinks of a
Meanwhile, the
saint.
officers applauded mom's son, who
very
was
calm.
still outside with his father.
Good job, buddy. Proud of you. You did the right thing. Don't ever hesitate to call us if you feel like you're in trouble, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right.
He's just
Thanks for
glued to
calling
the
us,
hip of
sir.
his
They let
dad.
them both
Yeah.
go to avoid the 9-year-old seeing his mom carted off to the back of the squad car. The officers later cuffed Long as she continues to maintain she had no idea how the bag of meth ended up in her house.
Any of them.
I don't have any keys anymore.
And so they walk her out, and she's worried about the neighbors seeing, but the cop's like, it's like 1 a.m. at this point. Like, no one's watching us right now.
Yeah.
So, listeners, that to me is one of the, when I watched that, it was gut checking because I've seen the residual effects of what happens subset. In fact, maybe I shouldn't close it quite yet, because then you get to hear maybe the aftermath of what happened.
They summarize.
Yeah, they summarize a little bit.
1337.
So 9585.
9585.
9585. She's a young one.
Jeez.
I was 10 years
Like we
old.
just got out of the
85.
I'll get the rest.
So you're
Follies of her youth.
And last year?
Those cuts feel okay?
For being Las Vegas cops, these guys are quite nice.
Yeah, they do a great job.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, do me a
Like,
favor, take 2 steps forward.
good job.
2 steps forward, bigger steps.
There's that classic
You take a step back.
iPhone
Nope.
ring. Probably Poncho or
All right, I'm
Alfonso
going
on
to
the
search you once
stash.
you get to the car.
Did I do that wrong or what?
No, you did fine. It's just there's cameras on the car. And since you're a female, I'm a male, we have to do everything in front of cameras. Yeah.
Walking her to the
Not
car.
me, and like I literally.
I get it.
I'm
It's a
not
bad
so
situation.
mad right now. I want.
All professional. Nothing in your pockets.
And then she's put in the back of the squad car.
I want you to put your pants on.
Take it to the concrete hotel.
Pretty sure you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Rear passenger back seat.
$25,000 bond.
All right, there we go.
Police then drive her off to jail. According to local reports, police arrested Long for drug trafficking and child abuse. She posted a $25,000 bond that same day.
Weird. Where'd she get the money?
According to 8 News Now, prosecutors found text messages showing Long was dealing drugs from her home while her son was present. She was sentenced to 2 years probation, which prosecutors say she violated months later. She has since been sent to an inpatient drug treatment program and will remain on probation another 2 years.
So that is a very different world that we live in now than it was 5-10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
She got 2 years of probation and treatment, and then she violated that 2 months later and is now saying, well, maybe I need intensive residential inpatient treatment.
Yeah.
These guys are not throwing you in jail for life anymore. They really do see the
There's a lot more options.
Yeah.
Now.
But on the same breath, there's some frustration there too, right? I mean, you're given a gift of like some freedom and the benefit of the doubt, and then 2 months later you do it again, knowing that she's been dealing out of that house. And so you don't, this stuff that lives on the internet, on podcasts, lives forever. This 9-year-old's going to grow up and hear all this stuff and know all this stuff and have the backstory and go back to the point where she said, I don't do drugs. I don't do this here. That gaslighting, oh my gosh. This is their childhood.
Like it's sad because it really just has fractured the relationship he has with his mom.
When I started coming out of that dark cloud and started to become more aware of my mother's own deceitful, aspects of life and just the things that as you get older, you start calling into question, it does a number on you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait a minute, that means everything that she said was a lie? And it's hard to wrap your head around that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like what was true, what wasn't true, like what's all of a sudden it's even just questioning reality. And man, and for a 9-year-old to go through that, oh my goodness, that's a lot to take on.
So the one thing I will say about the father and the mother is that despite what's happened, you guys have raised an amazing young man. That is absolutely amazing that he would have enough self-understanding, self-control, self-worth, self-esteem.
And to be brave enough to do that.
And courage.
Like, oh my goodness.
That boggles my mind. And so, despite the fact that there's been some hiccups there, what an amazing young man. And, like he said, I wish the cops would have maybe leaned into that a little bit more at the beginning, but, that's the way things transpired. So long story short, if you know someone that has children that's, in this world, get them help. Reach out. Like, let's, if you yourself are in that world, think about it. Let's get you some help. Jump in. Let's get you some service to get rid of some of that extra weight that you don't need to be lugging around. And by all means, like, just learn to teach your kids to advocate. And it's kind of a funny thing.
We've also put together I have a web page on our site of like family member resources. So maybe you're a family member of a situation like this, and it has some resources for kids and just as a family member. So
absolutely. So a little bit longer of an episode today, but we wanted to share that with you, just kind of give you a little bit of a background of what happens when the addiction takes over to the point where we start to believe our own lies, and kind of that your kids aren't stupid. They are very aware of what's going on, and they're little barometers on the mood and the emotions that are kind of like fluctuating inside the home. Yeah. The goal here,
they can read a lot more than you think.
Absolutely. The goal here is to create a home team that is strong, that is a dynasty, that can have like the plays of success, be kind of in operation in all things, in all times. If you need help, reach out, addicttoathlete.org. You'll find all of our resources there. Share this. This will be a podcast coming out this Friday. Keep it available for anyone that might be struggling. Share it. Give us a review. And until next time, do your best. Turn your mess into your message.